past chairs of the Women's Auxiliary Group to AIME, joining us to tell us all about WAAIME's history. Intertwined with AIME.
Well, thank you very much for having me here. And interestingly, I don't even think of us as a Women's Auxiliary AIME, it's WAAIME. Yeah. So we don't have to be a Women's Auxiliary anymore. So, but although we have a couple of men members, so it's been pretty good. So anyway, WAAIME was founded. So we have just celebrated our 100th anniversary a few years ago. But anyway, in New York City, and so there's this great picture of all the ladies who got together and formed WAAIMEs. And yeah, 100 years ago. And the purpose, so you can see the year there is 1917. The purpose was to support the war effort. So we didn't start out as scholarships, which is what's important. Well, all of it's important, but that's really important to us now. And the big thing here is that Lou Henry Hoover, our most famous president, of course, Hoover's wife. So I wanted to read off what our objectives are. So to render service to the country and the community through all that pertains to the interest of the professions of mining, metallurgical, and petroleum engineering. And she said that in 1929, so we had already gotten the metallurgical and petroleum in there at that time, huh? To promote philanthropic work and the interchange of ideas, so there we are networking, and to devise and promote ways and means of procuring a fund and to maintain such fund for the purpose of assisting promising students to maintain a technical education in mining, metallurgical, and petroleum engineering and their allied subjects. I think of it as anything earth science related we give scholarships for. And they're not huge amounts, but we give them to lots of people. The endowment fund, so that's gotten to be nice and large so that we can support all of our scholarship giving. But it started out then, in 1920 was when we first got the regular scholarship. And they raised $1,000 and saved $750 of it as the beginnings of the endowment. And now, oh yeah, by 1930 they were giving lots of scholarships. 4 recipients graduated with honors, and then the chairman of AIME was moved to say the auxiliary, through its scholarship efforts, was a nursery to AIME. And we might think of it that way, that WAAIME is supporting the industry of mining and, of course, AIME. So that's an important concept there. So the first regular scholarships given in 1921, and since then, I added up a bunch of it, and it's about $9 million that we've given over those years, and about 3,000 students. But this was just what I was adding up from the US numbers. And we also give international ones to South America, that is Peru and Chile, and Mexican sections. And we don't control, we give them the money and they give us reports, but we don't control what they do, so I don't really know how many it is. And they have a really interesting process. I'll get to it in a little bit later. But anyway, so it's a lot more than that. The first scholarship, I thought this was great, awarded to a woman was in 1944. And I didn't realize anything about AIME at the time. So that they had had women members since way before that. So, and in 1946, a woman received a scholarship in metallurgy. And I've had people say that they don't apply for our scholarships because it's for women, isn't it? And I say, oh no. So it's surprising that it was that long. So 20-some years before one was given to a woman in metallurgy or in mining engineering. And now, I think we give probably at least half to women. So it's good. Okay, so here we are giving about $400,000 annually. And we give $60,000 to the international sections for their student scholarships. And also, We have been supporting a PhD student. That was through the SME program that they've had. And also, yeah, the Boy Scouts Jamboree with a $10,000 gift. So things like that. There are other educational efforts that come up. Oh, and Education for Tomorrow, I don't think we've actually done that recently, but I saw that the international sections had. That was where we were trying to encourage students in lower grades to become involved in mining, or at least become aware of it. So they were writing a poem or a story or something about that. And we supported that too. So they started out with the WAAIMEs doing all kinds of different activities to support, it turns out, two war efforts, and I suppose Vietnam War too, and the Korean War, they mentioned it in here too. So World War I and World War II, we ladies could crochet and knit, so we did that, and donated magazines, books, and hobby equipment to the soldiers. And this was fun. They provided funds to French shepherds to restock the sheep herds, so we can continue knitting. I think that's a good thing. And funded hospitals and served local mining communities and veterans hospitals. So still supporting war efforts, but also specifically mining communities. They did a lot for that. More hospitals. Just, yeah, various specific hospitals. And a lot of work with books. So here the Braille, Western Pennsylvania had a Braille committee that worked with the local school for the blind. Oh, and here they were doing, yeah, mobile kitchens in Europe during World War II. And here they, a lot of them put out a personal effort to make contact with the soldiers. And I don't know what this card is at the top there, but somehow that's a record then of providing undergarments to servicemen. I don't know what that is, but anyway, it collected clothing for the Koreans after the war. And big work in refugees. I don't know that any of that's happening now for immigrants, but they helped to teach them reading in English and help them with their citizenship questions to become citizens of the U.S. This was a funny one, yeah, nylons. Again, another Braille book that was distributed from 1923 to 1943, and the government took that over from the WAAIMEs. Isn't that cool? There we were. And we created libraries. It's still a big thing, but specifically in mining communities, because of course you know those are sometimes very remote, and so they need to have these libraries. And we used to do that pretty regularly, collect and distribute books. So here's it again. So one of them, yeah. So at Socorro, you wouldn't think of needing to have books in Socorro, where the university is. So, but now, yeah, that's what we got it started on that. So Lou Hoover, again, was one of the big people pushing that. And so they've named some libraries after Mrs. Hoover. And yeah, so yeah, by 1941, 8,000 volumes. So today, our big effort is in scholarships. And also we provide some funding for some teachers' courses, that is workshops, and that provide an introduction to the minerals industry. Oh, and this was nice. There was a presentation online. It's really nice that we can get together this way now, have our meetings online, where the representative for Peru told us about what the sections in Peru and Mexico and Chile are doing. And they give their scholarships to many students and help very much more than we do. We give them money and they go off because we know the university is helping the students. But the students in South America, South and Central America, they need to have more guidance. So the WAAIMEs who give the scholarships also help them and maintain their supervision over them to make sure they're keeping up with what they need to be doing. So they have held, you can see that in Peru, in Lima, they gave 770 scholarships. That's not just last year, I don't think, but anyway, and they had 25 coaching workshops. So those are the coaching workshops that they have in order to help with the self-esteem of the students and encourage the self-improvement as professionals, because they really don't have a concept of how to handle themselves either as professionals. They said they went into such things as, how to dress. Make sure you have on, an appropriate suit jacket or whatever, depending on what the situation is. So, see, that was quick. That's it. Yes?
What's WAAIME membership look like today? Like how many people and what sections and that kind of thing?
The sections have been getting reduced. We have, I think, maybe 16 sections now. And my section in Reno, we've got now maybe a dozen people. And we used to have 100 or so. So it's reduced, but that means what we need are more people. And it doesn't have to take a big effort. We, once a year, interview our students to get the scholarships, and that's kind of what our effort is, because we're not making a huge effort to be fundraising. We have good funds. We can always have some more. But yes, Bob.
Do you still do many of the community service type activities that we've talked about?
No, our section has not been doing those. So that's why I put that up there, because we haven't been.
There's a lot of people that I know don't want to just be raising money. They'd rather participate in community service activities, and that'd be a great way to attract them.
Yeah. So how many had gotten a WAAIME scholarship? I know we don't have too many geology people here.
Ask about future tenants.
Oh yes, how many future, that's very true. So yay, we were talking last night. And that is the thing I wanted to encourage you all to, if you have any upcoming students, it's from sophomore year, you apply now for next year. So we need to have them upper division. So juniors and seniors and graduate students. So, and we can support for 3 years. So I was wanting you to encourage anybody to, to be applying for, it's anything in earth science or, sort of mining related. So hydrology, I gave one in ceramics one year. Oh, I had a guy in computer science because he was concentrating on computer science in mining. So we could do that too. So it's anything related that's related to mining, all kinds of stuff related to mining. Although not so much of the humanities. We haven't been doing humanities related to mining. We could, yes?
I assume you also give scholarships to people that want to get involved with the types of specialties in the other societies besides SME.
Yes, well, so we haven't been. It's just been, well, because we were separate before. And so we just joined SME, became a division of SME in, I think it was 2008. So yeah, I was looking at that, and so long as it's related to mining, it said mining-related industries. That's what Hoover told us. So yeah, I think.
I know for the Western Pennsylvania section, so AIME has a tie in a fund that's called our Young Fund. And the Western Pennsylvania section of WAAIME actually selects students, and they select them in all of AIME disciplines for that Young Scholarship.
Yeah.
So that's one particular focus that,
that's that one. So,
that I know is across the groups.
Yeah, that's their section, so that's not our national section.
Right,
so.
exactly.
So, but yeah, I think, yeah, we'd have to, promote it a little bit when we come. So we interview the students and find out what they're like, and then if we have to, we go to the national group and promote these students. So if they need it. So that, I think so, that would be something we should consider. So something involved in and petroleum that's also in our group. We support that. So yeah. Yes.
So Beth, 2 things. First, I was the guy who signed the 2008 agreement when we joined SME.
You were.
Yes, I was. And there was never an attempt to limit it to mining. We wanted to include the extractive industry.
Yes.
That's always what we anticipate. They, your head, give us The WAAIMEs were looking for a home, we provided a home to them.
Yes.
But the idea was they would continue to fund scholarships within the four-member society.
Yes.
So it was never an attempt to limit it to minors. So just to make sure that that's understood, that was the intent.
Yeah.
Naturally, we're more than happy to have scholarships for mining students, but we also understand that WAAIMEs have a history that goes all the way back to the Institute and cover all of our fields of all four-member society.
Yeah.
And so we honor that legacy. That's one thing. Second thing I want to mention to you is next year, 19th, is the 50th anniversary of the Sunshine Mine fire, the Sunshine Mine disaster. And 91 miners lost their lives in that fire. The WAAIMEs, and I just thought this was interesting, but I'm reading all the annual reports that the WAAIMEs have submitted. The WAAIMEs chest fund actually provided funds to support the education of the students of the 91 miners that died in that disaster.
Yeah.
And that's the type of things we use in the story.
We have historically, but we don't even have a chest fund anymore.
Well, it probably exists if you dig in.
If we dig hard enough.
I'm just pointing out that I thought that was really commendable that we need to step forward there, donating to the education fund.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's the 50th anniversary, that's next year.
Wow, next year, wow. Yes.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I had the pleasure a few weeks ago of handing out WAAIME scholarship checks to 10 students at mining and mineral processing students at Penn State.
At Penn State, excellent.
At Penn State, and I know that there were at least a couple others that were in petroleum as well that got checks.
Great.
But I got to give them to the mining students.
So keep promoting that.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that's one thing that one thing that we're losing is we don't have as many sections, so we don't have as many of the WAAIMEs, just the plain old WAAIMEs that are there at the mining universities. And of course, we don't have as many mining universities either. So that means, yes, all of you, promote WAAIMEs to all of your students, and let's see what we can manage on this. What we do is we, accept all these scholarship applications, and so long as they, generally, so long as they are within the, the time frame and the students are going to actually go to school and things like that, they get money. So not a lot, but it's $1,000, couple $1,000. Yes?
Take advantage of this and promote membership of WAAIMEs to the other societies as well.
Sure, yeah, yeah. So we have a website, WAAIME website, that you can go to, and there's an application there for becoming a member. And we do require that our students be a member of one of the four societies of AIME. So our students, that's one of the boxes they have to check off, and we send them back if they don't have it done. Go get that membership. Yes.
I'll also mention that I was a WAAIME scholarship recipient when I was an undergrad, and my son was a WAAIME scholarship recipient too. So, and I know several other people that have multi-generational. So
that's great.
It's long enough for that multi-generational.
Yeah, and I like it because I get to interview the kids, and we've had many that are first generation students at all, and here they are going into mining, and it's just great. And, and their fathers, I had one who was a cook at one of the casinos, because, there we are in Reno, and he decided to go into mining, so, okay, let's support this kid.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you.